I'm muting everybody.
And now we're going to begin with something I know some of you have done with me before. But Ram Dass would tell us that the best way to live life is to open your heart and quiet your mind. So I'm going to invite you to bring some breath into it by bringing your arms straight out in front of you. Eyes can be closed. And as you breathe in and open the palms, feel your heart open. And as you breathe out, feel the palms come together as you quiet your mind. So here we go together, a breath in as you open your heart. A breath out. A breath in, opening the heart, feeling the heart chakra. And a breath out. Last one, a breath in. And a breath out. Relax the arms, close your eyes. I'm going to read something from Lauren Roach. There is a place in the heart where everything meets. Go there if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity. All are there. Are you there? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Give yourself to it with total abandon. Quiet ecstasy is there, and a steady sense of resting in a perfect spot. Once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you and be saturated with the knowing. I belong here. I am at home here. So today in our practice, we call ourselves not just into our heart, but into our body. Giving our mind a little bit of rest. I know we've all had busy minds. So a little bit of stretching from the seated position before we get up and do a tapping. So sitting nice and straight. Allow your palms to rest on the floor next to you. Turning the palms up, a nice breath in as the palms reach up. And a breath out as they drop down. Feeling yourself settling into the ground. Turning the right palm inward as you lift the right fingers up towards the ceiling. Pausing there and feeling a stretch from the right hip to the right fingertips. And then a nice breath in, and as you breathe out, a little bit of a tilt to the left, but reaching up with the fingertips and breathing into that right side. And then staying in this sideways position, taking a nice breath in, and as you breathe out, fold over your left knee and drop your arm and drop your head. And perhaps feel a stretch from the right hip up into the right side of the back. And then a breath in as you come up, and the right hand returns. So here we go on the other side. Left palm up, reaching up with the left hand, down with the left hip. On your next exhale, a little bit of a tilt to the right. Pausing here. And as you exhale, dropping forward from this place so you get the stretch up into the left side. Allow the head to relax. Allow the thoughts to drop from the mind. And once more, a breath in as you come up, and a breath out as the hand drops down. So switching your legs, if you've crossed your legs in the opposite direction, we're going to do it one more time. Straightening the spine, reaching with that right arm, feeling the right sits bone, exhaling to the left. A slow breath in and a slow breath out as you fold forward, letting go, letting go, letting go. And a breath in as you come back to center and the right arm drops. Left arm reaches, left sits bone grounds down as you slowly exhale to the right. Slow breath in through your nose and a slow exhale as you bend forward. Letting go, letting go. And slowly back up. And then taking your time, coming to a standing position for tapping. We're going to get our little tapping man. So if you haven't tapped before, just think of waking up all this wonderful part of your body. So grounding your feet, lifting the top of your head, and checking in, and just notice. Notice if your mind is busy. Notice if any parts of your body are numb or relaxed. And then when you're ready, it's the right fist on the left chest. And if you can, close your eyes and really feel the vibration in the body. Tapping on your stomach meridian, which holds worry, and your lung, which holds sadness. And then the hand moves to the left shoulder and comes down the inside of that left arm, all the way down, and clap your hands eventually. And the top of the hand and the finger, the thumb, which is the lung, coming up the top of the arm, to the shoulder, and the armpit. And then slowly down that left side. And when you're ready, it's switching, so it's a left fist on the right chest. Once again, close your eyes and feel the vibration in the body. And then moving to your right shoulder, down the inside of that right arm, coming all the way down, clapping your hands, and the top of the hand and the fingers and the thumb. slowly coming up the top of the arm, all the way to the shoulder, and then the armpit. I might have forgotten the armpit at the other side. This is your heart. So let's give this one a few extra taps. And then down that right side. And then 2 hands just below the ribs as you tap on your stomach, your liver. And today, let's move both hands over to the left as we tap on our stomach and breathe out. Again, breathe out. Letting go of any worry that we know of, maybe any worry that we don't know of. And then moving to the right side as you tap on your liver, so our liver holds anger. And it might not be your anger, just anger, maybe tapping out the anger of your community, of the world, and breathing out again. And then when you're ready, move into your kidneys, which are behind, and our kidneys hold fear. So we can definitely all breathe out here in unison. Letting go of any fear. And then moving to the tailbone and down the backs of the legs. All the way down. And the feet and the toes and the toes and the feet. And then slowly coming up the front of the legs, cupping the hands when you get to the knees. Tapping on those thighs and the hips and the glutes. And the glutes and the hips. And as you tap down the outside of the legs today, just reminding you this is the stomach meridian again. So taking it nice and slow. Eventually you make it to the outside ankle and the inside ankle. And slowly making up the front of the leg, which is the spleen. And then stopping 2 inches below your belly button. So either open palms or fists. Eyes are closed or soft. Feeling your feet on the earth. So our second chakra grounds us. Doing up times and down times. So either focusing on your second chakra or focusing on your feet. Maybe you can even imagine that your feet are growing roots down into the earth. then slowly stop. And see if you can stand perfectly still. Feel your breath. Feel your feet. And then placing your hands on the back of your neck. And this is called a massage, but I think of it more as sealing the energy that you just stirred up into your body. So the hands come down over the front of the body, and then behind, down the backs of the legs, on the feet, up the front of the legs, and stopping at your second chakra. So taking a moment here to make an intention for your practice, perhaps an intention for your day. Something simple and sincere. Might be health, peace, joy, compassion. And pausing, and as you focus on your intention, feel your in-breath. And as you breathe out, just imagine you're letting go of whatever is getting in the way of that intention. And then slowly relaxing the arms next to the body. And begin swinging your arms around your body. And maybe you let your head travel with your arms. And you bring that awareness to your lower back. And also to any tension in your arms. And now some breaths out as the tension in the arms releases. And you bring a little movement into that lower back. And now as we move our arms, I'd like you to become aware of where you feel the twisting. So bringing your arm up a little higher, your arms. Just notice where you feel it. And then bringing your arms up as high as you like. Just noticing. And then ever so slowly, the arms float down back by your side. And you come to stillness. So one way, in Roots to Wings, we talk about 3 bodies. And we talk about the physical body, the energy body, and the spiritual body. Well, one way to really bring calmness is to bring the energy out of your mind. So we're going to do some intestinal exercises. And if you feel comfortable bending your knees a little, you'll see that it kind of keeps your back straight. But if you have cranky knees, feel free to keep your knees straight. The hands are in front of your belly just for awareness. As you push your belly out and you pull it in. And you push it out and you pull it in. And you push it out and you pull it in. So here we go. We're going to count together by 10s. And feel free to stop if you need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 1, slowing it down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nobody's here to remind me. I think it's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. And slowly stop and bring your feet together and rub your belly. So I don't know what's happened where you are, but the sun is in full appearance here at the studio. So thinking of the sun and just thinking of the energy of the group here, we're going to do just a few little Tai Chi movements. So once again, you can bend your knees a little bit. I'd like your feet to be a little bit wider. And it's scooping the energy up as you breathe in, pushing out as you breathe out, perhaps holding the breath, and then releasing. So here we go, a breath in, a breath out, and release. A breath in, a breath out, and release. 2 more. Breath in, breath out. Flex your wrists, open your heart chakra, and release. Last one, breath in, breath out. And release, and straighten the legs. Take a nice breath in through your nose. And as you breathe out, tuck the chin and curl down and breathe out. And let the head dangle and the arms dangle. And then bringing such a bend to your knees, it's like you're sitting on a chair. And feel your belly really drop to your thighs if you can. And see if you can get some release in that lower back. And on your own time, slowly curling it up. Shrugging those shoulders up as slowly as you can and back and down. And bringing the feet a little wider, again, really grounding, bringing the fingertips away from the body. And now I'd like you to think of lifting the ribs away from the hips. So you just created a little bit of space there, which allows for more of a twist. The right palm turns out, the right palm reaches up, and the left palm reaches down. So keep reaching with the right, keep reaching down with the left, and see what you feel. Can you feel the front of that right hip? Can you feel some space in the right side? Can you breathe into that space? And then slowly the right palm turns down. And you pause for one breath. The left palm turns out. The left palm reaches up and the right reaches down. Really grounding in that left foot, reaching with the left. See what you feel. Maybe it's a space in front of the hip. Maybe it's a space in the ribs. And slowly the left palm turns out and down. So I'm sure you all miss doing your planks and strengthening your arms. So we're going to do our little arm strengthening standing up. So I'd like you to roll the right shoulder blade back and then the left. And now ground the feet, lift the top of the head. You might even want to open your eyes and make sure you're looking at the horizon. You want to close your eyes again. And now keep squeezing the shoulder blades together, keeping your arms as straight as you can. And maybe try to lift those arms a tiny, tiny bit. And maybe you even are breaking into a little bit of a sweat. So it's up to you. You can keep holding for a few more breaths or you can let go. That's the beauty of doing this online. Nobody's checking in on you and you don't feel the pressure of the other people in the room. Two more breaths. And then slowly allow the arms to relax down. Bringing the arms up in front of you and the elbows and the palms are together. Press your elbows together as hard as you can and press your palms together. And now just checking in with yourself, see if you can keep that pressure on the elbows as you try to raise your elbows just a tiny bit. And keep pressing with the elbows. Keep pressing. If the pressing lessens, feel free to drop your elbows. And slowly the arms come back down by your side. This time shrug those shoulders up and forward really slowly and down and then up and back and down. Bringing your arms up to the horizon. So just a reminder, your lung meridian starts in your thumb. So since they haven't invented a vaccine yet, we're just going to create our own little healthy thing for the lung. So begin shaking the hands. If you can keep your arms up, please do. Focus on your thumbs. Focus on your thumbs. And shake even harder. So 5, 4, 3, focus on those thumbs, 2, and 1, and slowly down. So we're going to do a little bit for our organ, and this is going to be a challenge, at least for me, without music. But we're going to give it a try. So the arms come up in front again, and I'd like you to think of yourself as, I think of turning a jar. So your arms stay forward, and the torso moves from side to side. And this is called organ dancing. And often you'll feel a little itch like you did when you were a kid and you just ran a little too fast. So maybe you can hum along, make up a song. Twist, twist, twist. I can do it. I'm waking up my body. My cells are so healthy. So a few more seconds, since we don't have the music to keep us going. So 5, 4, twist, twist, twist. 3, twist, twist, twist. 2, and 1, and stop, and feel. And close your eyes. Feel your feet on the floor. Perhaps you can feel your heart beating. So let's do a couple more things before we make our way to the floor. Since I didn't get to ask people what's up with their body, I noticed that Lou was there and she'd say neck. So let's do our little neck stretch. So it's the right arm behind the body. And as you do that, think of it as anchoring the right shoulder. So even if your arm doesn't go all the way around, just place it wherever you can to really anchor that right shoulder. Take a nice breath in and begin by lowering the right ear to the right shoulder. And then moving as smoothly as you can as you breathe in, the head comes up and the left ear drops to the left shoulder. And now imagine your head is growing heavier and the left ear is dropping even more. And you're breathing into the stretch all the way down the shoulder. As you release the right arm, drop your chin to your chest. As you breathe, maybe you can even feel the head move ever so slightly. And then a little happy face on the chin across the chest. And if you feel comfortable making circles with the head and the neck, feel free to open your eyes if you're worried about getting dizzy. And now see if you can slow it down. And then switching and going in the other direction. I like to smile when I hear any crunching. And I know if there's any pain, I'm going to stop. And I slow it down. And I bring movement and fluid into the neck. And then I come to stillness. The left arm binds behind, wherever you're comfortable, so that you anchor that left shoulder. The left ear drops to the left shoulder. And then slowly the head comes up. Ooh, and it's the right ear to the right shoulder. Maybe you can feel the stretch all the way down into the shoulder. Imagine your head is getting heavier. The right ear is dropping in your mind's eye. And then slowly the chin comes back up. The arm releases, the chin drops to the chest. And a nice breath in as the head comes back up. So we are gonna, when we get down to the earth, we're gonna do a hip stretch that I found out because I wasn't walking around. The last time I did it, people weren't exactly clear what we were doing. So I'm gonna demonstrate it so you can watch. So we're gonna keep one knee straight, so the left knee is straight, and the right knee is gonna drop not out, but in. And we're gonna do it a couple times with the hip down, and then we're gonna do it a couple times with the hip coming up. So coming down onto your back, your knees are bent, your palms are facing down. And once you're there, let's all take a breath together. Just imagining everyone in the class is breathing as one. As you take a nice breath in and out. You know, I realized that our little naked man was in front of my knees, so I hope you got the demonstration. So the left leg stays perfectly still. Keeping the right hip on the mat, drop that right knee in and back up and drop it in towards the left and back up. And once more, and maybe pause for a breath. Back up. And now this time, I'd like you to drop the right knee towards the left, and your right hip can come up off the mat. And just notice how it becomes a whole different stretch. And see if you can either go up and down a few times and see how that feels. Or you can drop it and stay. So in your mind's eye, I'd like you to imagine that beautiful hip joint just turning inward. And now keeping your mind on the hip bone, on the joint, like you're right in there with it. Keeping the left knee straight, allow the right knee to come up, and now drop out to the right side. And see how that feels. And then back to center and pause. So now here we go on the other side. The right leg stays perfectly still as the left knee drops in towards the right. And I want you to keep the left hip on the mat. And it comes up and down, so you're kind of greasing the works in that beautiful hip joint. And now this time when you do it, allow your left hip to come off the mat. And notice just that slight change. It becomes a whole different exercise. And maybe you drop that left knee inward and pause. And then allowing the knee to come up and drop outward this time. And just feeling, imagining you really felt the whole movement of the hip and the joint. And coming back to center. And now we're going to notice little tiny movements. Bring your thighs together as close as you can. If you can get them to kiss, please do. And then drop your thighs in towards your body. And grabbing either your thighs or your shins, give a little tug. And then allow the legs to come out. Allow the legs to spread wide apart. And now drop the thighs in towards the body. Holding on to the backs of the thighs or the shins. And just notice where you have that stretch. Slowly, the legs come back together and the legs straighten up towards the ceiling. I'd like you to point the toes and flex the toes and point and flex. And now maybe some rotations with the ankles. And maybe rotating in the opposite direction. And coming to stillness, I'd like you to rest your elbows on the floor. Place your hands on the outside of your thighs and allow your legs to open wide. So your hands become a support for the legs. And it becomes a little bit of a supported stretch for those legs. Breathing into the stretch on the adductors. And then slowly the legs come back together and the knees bend. And today let's slide our palms under our tailbones. And notice what that does to your lower back. It kind of protects the lower back. And begin bicycling your legs. And now I'd like you to play with this so it gets to be fun. You'll notice the closer your legs come to the mat, kind of the more work it is. And maybe you try bicycling backwards, or you try slowing it down. take a break, you just allow the thighs to drop in towards the body, and you'll notice how the belly softens. So if you're still bicycling, take your break, drop your feet on the mat, straighten your left leg on the mat and flex your left toe. And see if you can lengthen that left leg enough to create some opening in the left hip. And now I'd like you to place your hands just above your hips. And these are the small muscles of your core. So see if you can engage the small muscles of the core. And now the big muscles of the core. And when you engage the big muscles of the core, you can feel your tailbone actually moving and tipping up towards the ceiling. The palms come back to the mat. The more you work your core, the lighter your leg is going to become as you lift that left leg and stop when the thighs are lined up together. And you breathe in and engage your core, and you breathe out and push out through the heel. You're keeping that little arch in your back. And now see, if you want to take it further, you could press the palms and the shoulders into the mat and the right foot. So everything's working. And then a nice slow breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, the left leg slowly drops to the mat. And maybe you give it a little wiggle. You bend the left knee and place the left foot on the mat. Slowly straightening out that right leg. See if you can lengthen the leg away, creating space. Flex the toe back towards your forehead. If you need to use your fingers to find your small core muscles, do. Otherwise, engage the small core muscles and then engage the big. So much so you feel the tailbone move and the right leg floats up. And you breathe in, engage that core, and you breathe out and press out through the heel. Perhaps you press your palms and your shoulders into the mat. If you can hold for another breath or two, please do. You might even be pressing the left foot into the mat. A nice breath in, and slowly a breath out as the right leg drops. The right knee bends. And you drop your thighs in towards your body. And now remembering when we did it before, which one are you choosing? Are your thighs touching? Are your thighs wide apart? And on your exhale, give a little tug with the arms and intensify that stretch. Release the hands, drop the feet on the mat, and begin lifting and dropping your hips a little faster than you're thinking. See if you can relax the belly. Hopefully nobody's running up to go to the bathroom now. A few more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and stop. And notice. Notice your breath. Notice your mind. So keeping the palms facing down on the mat, walk your heels towards your buttocks and your fingertips towards your heels. And now I'd like you to engage your glutes. And if you don't know if they're engaged, just give them a little poke with your finger and make sure they're engaged. Engage your core as much as you can. And then pressing into the palms and the feet, I'd like you to lift the hips into a beginner bridge. And now we're not trying to go into a full bridge, but I'd like you to keep engaging the core and the glutes. And if by any chance you have a cramp, it's because one of your glutes isn't engaged. So give it a little poke. And now imagine just that your knees are moving a little bit away from you. And if you want to extend the stretch as you come down, you can try coming up on your tippy toes. It gives you a little bit more space. And try coming down one vertebra at a time. And once the hips relax, slowly drop the knees to the left for one breath. And back to center and to the right for one breath. And back to center. And now slowly rolling to one side and coming up to a seated position. So if you're not used to taking class with me, I always like to end with a restorative pose. And and I always often do this other thing, which is I get you to set up for your restorative pose, but then you don't get to go into it. We have to do a little tapping or something. So we don't have bolsters, but we all have walls and chairs and sofas. So your restorative is going to be either legs at the wall, or I think you can probably see me, it's going to be legs up on a chair. So I'd like you to think about kind of where you're going to end, even though we're not quite ready to end. And if that means you have to move, that's fine. And then we're going to end with one of my least favorite things. Mike, I'm going to need you on this part.
Uh-oh.
So we're not restoring yet. So, you know, I said earlier about how we hold worry in our stomach. And one of the best ways to release tension in the stomach is laughing. And it's something that's really hard for me to do. But we're going to try it for at least 45 seconds. So when you're ready, begin. And slowly stop. And now just notice. I really needed you here for that, but it was good to have Mike. And just notice if you were able to release tension in the belly and maybe even in the heart. I even had tears. So we're going to tap our head and our face, and then we're going to move into the restorative. So you can be sitting next to your wall or next to your chair. Straighten your spine and bring the fingertips up to the top of your head. Eyes are closed. Breathing out. And then slowly the fingertips move behind the ears. That big plate really holds a lot of tension. And around to the back of your head. And the very base of the skull. Down to the occipital ridge. Usually a lot of tension here. So going gently and breathing and feeling. And the tapping might become more gentle as you move to your temples. Again, breathing out. Relax the arms. And then the forehead and the eyebrows. And the space between the eyebrows. And underneath the eyes. You might feel the bony parts of your cheeks here. And the fleshy parts of the cheek. And down to the chin and the jaw and the teeth and the gums. And then for the next few seconds, moving your fingertips back to wherever needed a little extra attention, maybe on your head or your face. And then slowly stop. Feel your breath. Feel your body. And then slowly and mindfully mindfully moving to where you're going to do your restorative. If you have a blanket, you might want to take it along. If you don't want to do legs up the wall or on a chair, of course, just find a nice comfortable place on your back. And now, I'd like you to notice, is there anything that you could do to be a little bit more comfortable? What happens if you turn the palms up? Can you allow the shoulders to relax down? Maybe if you have your legs up on your sofa or your chair, do you need to move a little further away so the legs can completely relax? And now I'd like you to bring your attention to your face. Imagine that the eyes are settling down into their sockets, inward focusing. Perhaps the skin on the face relaxes and pulls away. Maybe the tongue moves in the mouth, so the tongue relaxes as well. And then imagine the shoulders are being drawn into the earth. Maybe the bones in the upper arms become heavy. And the bones in the hands and the fingers become heavy as they release and let go. Perhaps you can allow all the muscles to commit, to relax and let go. Imagine that the bones can breathe and sigh and release. And going deeper still, and imagining that the organs and the fluids and the cells are all releasing and letting go. And then bringing your attention to the area of your heart. And perhaps recalling your intention for your class and your day. It's compassion, really feeling that compassion, feeling that peace. As we rest in the silence until the bell rings. There is a place in the heart where everything meets. Go there if you want to find me. Mind, senses, soul, eternity. All are there. Are you there? Enter the bowl of vastness that is the heart. Give yourself to it with total abandon. Quiet ecstasy is there, and a steady sense of resting in a perfect spot. Once you know the way, the nature of attention will call you and be saturated with the knowing. I belong here. I am home here. So little tiny movements. Maybe you've already rolled to one side. But if you haven't, eventually making your way to your side. And pausing here and really knowing the healingness of being in a fetal position. And perhaps pushing yourself up to a seated position, staying exactly where you are. You might be over next to your sofa or your wall. And I'd like to end with the same way that we began. Bringing your arms up in front, palms facing one another. And a nice breath in as the arms open and you open your heart. And palms together as you quiet your mind. So here we go, 3 times. A breath in and open your heart. Feel your heart chakra. Breath out and quiet your mind. A breath in, open the heart. A breath out and quiet your mind. Last one, breath in. And breath out. Relax your arms and your hands wherever you like, on your belly or your heart or your thighs. Thank you so much for practicing today.